Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to tonight's very special City Council meeting. This meeting is called to order, and it's a pleasure to, for once, in 183 years, to see the council chamber full. Without something, yeah, this is a celebratory. Ladies and gentlemen, on this very day, October 29th, the 302nd day of the year, 75 years ago, citizens of a younger Geneva gathered in this very building and this very council chamber to pledge themselves, one another, and the community they loved, their resources and their passion to create the Geneva Historical Society, the ancestor to the Geneva History Museum. It was a Friday afternoon in 1943. The weather was, we suspect, similar as it is today, and I suspect the chairs were the same too. No. And like today, the men and women who gathered here ignited an idea that has burned bright for 27,394 days to collect, preserve, and research the materials, the lives, the stories, and the events of Geneva, and to educate her residents and guests alike about our community. Many years ago, I was privileged to deliver some remarks at the dedication of the Geneva History Museum on 3rd Street when it moved from its location at Wheeler Park to downtown Geneva. And during those remarks, I shared the following comments that I believe are just as relevant today. In addition to my comments, I said, "Blessed are the keepers, the hoarders, and the pack rats, for they shall help build a museum." My congratulations to the Geneva History Museum on your diamond anniversary, and thank you for safeguarding, for shepherding, and for always sharing Geneva's story. Thank you. The Executive Director, Ms. Emma, has asked me to use that podium when I read the official proclamation, so I will make my way. Ladies and gentlemen, we have an official proclamation in honor of this diamond anniversary. And in the interest of full disclosure, we have a large print copy so I can read it. The proclamation reads, "Whereas on October 29, 1943, citizens and residents interested in forming a historical society met at Geneva City Hall. And whereas in the subsequent 75 years since that first historic meeting, the organization has grown to over 700 members and has thrived with continued citizen volunteer support. And whereas in 2014, the organization changed its name to the Geneva History Museum after participating in a museum assessment program. And whereas to answer the call to be part of Geneva's story is to ensure that Geneva's many voices are forever honored through the delicate, deliberate, and dedicated work of Geneva History Museum leaders and volunteers. And whereas the History Museum is a focal point of historic downtown Geneva and has attracted tens of thousands of visitors over its 75-year history. And whereas the community has once again gathered at Geneva City Hall to celebrate and honor the dedication and commitment of those first volunteers who launched the organization on October 29, 1943, with a City Hall celebration commemorated by a group photo, reception, and reading of the original minutes from 1943. Now, therefore, I, Kevin Burns, Mayor of the City of Geneva, Illinois, do hereby congratulate and honor the Geneva History Museum as they celebrate the 75th anniversary of their first gathering and encourage the residents of Geneva to continue to support this most important organization through membership and by attending its many programs available to the public year-round." And I'd like to present this to the Executive Director, if I may. On your chairs, ladies and gentlemen, as you arrive here this evening, there is a cheat sheet, if you will, of a hymn/song that we all should know. Believe it or not, according to Miss Emma, this was the song that those who gathered some 75 years ago sung at the conclusion.
This is at the meeting was opened by
The meeting was opened.
just the first and the last, we're only going to do the first, stanza of America, which is My Country 'Tis of Thee.
So, who's the oldest in the room that wants to lead this off? The lady laughing the loudest. Shall we begin? My country 'tis of thee,
Sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing. Land where my fathers died, land of the pilgrim's pride, from every mountainside, let freedom ring.
well done. And we'll be sure to edit that out of the final version of the tape that we are. The floor is Miss Emma's.
Thank you. We did want to start that as appropriate as they did 75 years ago with that stanza. And the meeting was quite interesting, and I kind of stumbled on this by accident while we were getting ready for accreditation and getting all of our things in order. And I happened to look through the board minutes, and I thought, when was the first one? And it popped up, and it said October 29th. I thought, well, we've got this opportunity to recreate this meeting, and I think these people would be so glad that we're still here in this room talking about Geneva's history and still collecting for the last 75 years because of these people. I'm not going to read the whole in minutes because it would bore you, but it's actually quite funny. I found it quite humorous and interesting. So the meeting was opened by the singing of the first and the last stanza of America. And at the suggestion of Miss Ethel Alexander, Miss Mary Wheeler was appointed temporary secretary for the meeting. Dr. Charles H. Little, professor of religious history at Meadville Theological Seminary at the University of Chicago, who had assisted in bringing the meeting together, presided as chairman. And in his comments, I loved these. He said, he provided the supposition that what if in 25 years from now, the president of a world federation might prove to be a boy or girl born in Geneva? The city would become famous, and the historian would come here for information about the celebrity seeking the atmosphere of the individual. And if you didn't save any history, there'd be nothing to tell. Another presenter, Dr. Paul Engel, the state librarian and executive secretary of the Lincoln National Historical Association at Springfield, had been invited to also address the group. His comments, he pointed out that the best place to begin the study of national history is to trace its eras and influence in the record of one's hometown, and there's no better source of patriotic loyalty can be found than local civic pride and appreciation for the public spirit of the men and women who through the generations have made its life and its institutions. He suggested that the Historical Society offer simple research, personal interviews, collecting of records old and new, individuals collecting activities, photographs, city directories, church and club programs, school publications, books, publications, and all the fugitive things which are the source material of history, but are not preserved unless some historical society does it. He went on to point out that a historical society will depend upon a small nucleus of genuinely active group. He suggested that forming such a society will take some time and effort, not to be too exclusive or too highly organized, to limit the Constitution and the bylaws and the dues to essentials. And we love this. This is our new slogan. And not to expect miracles. Following Dr. Engel's address, Mayor O.J. Adamson, Mr. Harry Coltrap, Mr. E. Duvall spoke in hearty endorsement of the project, as did Mr. Warren Smith, who presented the following motion in the form of a resolution which was seconded by Mrs. LeBaron Turner and adopted with no negative votes. Resolved that we are here assembled residents of Geneva, Illinois, or its immediate vicinity, favor the organization of the Geneva Historical Society. Resolved further that we elect and authorize the following persons to form an organization and committee. And I'll read their names because I believe they deserve to be read again and remembered. Mr. William C. Wood was the chairman. Victor Johnson, E. Duvall, Miss Ethel Alexander, Father James G. Parker, Mr. Harry Coltrap, Mrs. Herbert Zimmerman, Miss Katie Lou Hawkins, Miss Mary Wheeler, Miss Elva Garfield, Mrs. George, Bertha George, Raymond Pearson, Walter Nurnberg, and Harry Hansen. So I thank you all for being here and honoring these people that were all in this room 75 years ago to start this organization. We are a nonprofit organization that only are supported by people like you. We brought some fun stuff with us. Of course, we do have cupcakes and coffee to celebrate. We thank the City of Geneva for sponsoring this with us and hosting this event. You didn't have to come to a meeting tonight, but you did anyway, just for us. On the table over here near my administrative assistant, Vanessa, we have a necklace that is, we don't have the actual necklace here because I didn't want to bring it for security. I have a photograph of the necklace. It is a 3-diamond necklace made just for our anniversary by State Street Jewelers. It's valued at $4,000, and it is being raffled off just to benefit the museum. We have tickets here available. They're $25 a piece, or you can get 5 for $100. We're going to draw the raffle at our fundraiser for the creche, which is December 13th at the museum. You do not have to be present to win, but we encourage you to come join us. There's information about that fundraiser and an annual calendar. If you're not a member, please, after hearing this, I would hope that all of you would want to be a part of this history and help support it. I encourage you to join the museum. We have a lot of fun programs, fun exhibits, and we just enjoy sharing Geneva's story. So all of that stuff is on that table. I also have the sign that we held up for this selfie and a bunch of Sharpies. I'd like every one of you to sign this sign. We're going to hang it in the museum lobby for the holidays, along with a picture that we're going to get, hopefully a good one, out of all those that he took. And so you can come in and visit and find yourself in the selfie. That'll also be documented in the archives for perpetuity. So if you are worried, young man in the red back there, were you in the selfie? Okay, when you come back 10 years from now, you can ask to see the selfie that I was in, and you can see what you look like back when. And that's what we do. We preserve these stories so we can all cherish them forever. They're not in someone's attic or basement and lost at some point, but they're actually documented here at the museum. We also just won an Illinois Association for Museums Award for our anniversary. We won the Platinum Award, so we're very excited to announce that. And we also won an award for our architecture exhibit that was on display last year. From Springfield. So we appreciate that we're getting recognition for the hard work. Staff members are here. Stand up, staff. Thank you for continuing this and being great staff to work with. Current board members are here. I'm not going to announce all of them, but stand up, board members. If you're a current board member, thank you for all your tireless efforts. I saw a few former board members. Please stand up if you're a former board member. He's already standing. Oh, there's another one. There you go. Thank you. Countless hours have been spent over the years making this organization what it is today, but we can't do it without your continued support. You'll be getting a mailing from me soon in the next couple weeks for asking for your annual donation, and I hope that you'll remember this night and remember what we're doing for the future of Geneva. Make sure I hit everything. Oh, we also are having a juried art show next year. So if you're an artist in Kane County, we have submission forms over there, or you can hop on our website. We encourage everyone to submit some artwork for the next year's exhibit. And that is sponsored in part by the Geneva Foundation of the Arts and the Geneva Cultural Arts Commission. So we're very thrilled that the city organizations are sponsoring this for us. Now, we also ask if you have an Instagram account. We are very close. Where's Heidi? Wait, how many people do? She needs 18 Instagram followers, and then we'll be at 1,000. So if you're on Instagram, please follow us so we can reach our goal of 1,000. Geneva History is our the tag. So unless there are further comments, Mr. Mayor?
I have none.
We can conclude the meeting the way they did 75 years ago on the other side of your sheet.
Oh.
They sang God Bless America, and we're just doing the first verse. Thank you. As I step away from the microphone. Yeah, why don't we all stand and let's sing this together. And then let's have some cupcakes and sign and have some fun. Ready? God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. Thank you. Make sure you sign.
Meeting is officially adjourned. Enjoy the cupcakes.